don't know. I feel like the Turkish side have already proven us wrong multiple times. That we looked at Guild, we looked at Footballist, and we were going, you know what, Oxygen, that's probably it, right? And they've conquered 2 already, so maybe a third's on the cards.
Yeah, they've already shown us they're capable of taking on their own region with BBL and Footballers finally falling to them, and then even kept on taking it against these EU teams. Now Liquid, a bigger challenge, especially with the way Yampi's been playing, and now showing us the extra depth, taking up that Killjoy. He's going to be doing it again here as we go into the pistol round, and Team Liquid on the defense. They're going a little bit aggressive to start things off, but you wouldn't expect anything else from Yampi. He's got his knife out though. He doesn't think they're pushed up that quickly, and the opening duel goes to Oxygen.
This was the thing I worried a little bit. Like, you have this composition that works so well versus FPX, but I don't think Oxygen are going to respect the utility in the same way that FPX did. Already just bypassing one of the initial nano swarms, Yumpy going down, who's normally someone who's actually like given over a pistol in these rounds to try and do as much damage as he can. And they're already looking to try and fight onto Scream. The one tap's not quite coming through, but he's not backing away just yet. He's actually going to try and fight over the wall. And well, that battle's not gone great either.
Yeah, the headshot angle he hoped would give him the advantage, but, well, nothing comes of it. In the snake fight, it only serves to delay the inevitable. Oxygen grouped up outside of this side as Team Liquid rotate in. They've got 2 on site looking for a fight. They need to get the info. Have these guys rotated? I mean, they could be halfway to C at this point, and Team Liquid have given up all control of the map. But they're soon to realize that this push is coming right towards them, and Solkis about to swing and try to trade out his teammate. There's a couple, and Solkis does it all. It's all left down to Zistow, the big player for this team in the past games they've played. He's got 2 players swinging on him though, so there's nothing he can do. A 4K coming out from Solkis to save the pistol round here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, what a recovery. I think it was mentioned by Neil as well on the desk that they have these players that can just act as a rock, and well, Solkas being on the sky was something else he mentioned, and both have already come through in round 1. When are we getting this guy back? Like, can we just make him a permanent fixture? Because the 2 things he predicted have already happened in round number 1. But yeah, I think you have to look at Oxygen there and go, okay, that's a round you need to be taken. We talk about momentum, we talk about getting right out of the starting block. It's not gone great, and now they have to go for what is not exactly an eco, but just a few extra pistols to try and make this as costly as humanly possible.
Yeah, just dealing the damage is the name of the game right now. I do love the arc that Solkis has been on, right? He had a terrible set of series over at First Strike, and that was back in December. Then all of a sudden, this turnaround has been there. Since that event, you've seen the hunger to prove himself as a top player. He picked up Sky. He's been looking fantastic there. And even here from Liquid in that pistol round, the protocols, right? They lose Yampi early. Okay, Scream's going to try and recover it, take the long control. He dies on the headshot angle. Now what do? Well, Cryptix plays close, and then you've got Solkis ready to trade him. Like, there was always a plan there. They went down to the C plan, and eventually that got them the win. It wasn't just, oh, we're 2 men down, let's go fight, let's go try to take duels. They were trying to, you know, push themselves into the biggest advantageous position they could. And Link, I'm sorry, but you're in a bit of trouble if that nade comes through. Looks like it's not going to, though, as they just back off.
Taking their time in this round, trying to pick a few players off. As I said, just making this one costly is going to be fine. It's actually Spectre's invested into every single player on Liquid. Now, we know that one of the things they really like to do, especially on this map, is build up that extra economy. Make sure that when Yumpy is purchasing, he's going to have an operator in his hand. So I assume the next round is going to be played as almost a pure bonus. Just try and steal some of those weapons away. And if they can cheese their way through the round, that'll be fantastic. I will say that we sort of almost talk about Fnatic's comps on some of the maps, for example Bind, as quite a ratty comp. Like you're sat back, you're playing the after plants, you're almost doing something where like, oh really, this is what you do? I would say that Sliggy has managed to outdo them with this comp, because their whole job is just to delay, to try and make things awkward. And the thing that I question here is, are we going to get Oxygen just disrespecting all of the utility they put down? And if so, will that work for them?
And you know, you'll think about it in a lot of ways, like, oh, Link, Cryptix, Yampi, those are the ones with the post-plant utility to stop you, right? But then Solkis has those flashes for info. He's got the Wolf to just, obviously, or the Tiger, to go out there and find information, slow you down. And Scream, of course, he's got a wall. He's got slow orbs. It can be really tough to fight up against that. And headshots, he's got plenty of those,
Don't
that's
forget
for
the
sure.
headshots.
That is for sure. Look at this start. Slow orb to backside with a nade, but no damage. You can see Liquid are being conscious of this utility setup from Oxygen and playing to the right side of the site. There's 3 players rotated into position, but Oxygen, they love to sell those fakes. They'll look for the early duels and aggression, but if you don't give it to them, if you don't play the game that they want to, they're happy to then start playing it slower, take the information, and as you can see, they're still going to have presence towards C and middle, waiting for aggression to come down, and when that doesn't happen, it's the A site they've got their sights set on.
Yeah, the worry though is Mitas has no stars. So they have actually used all of their utility going into that C site and then just got delayed. So they're running into this one almost dry. Link within the smoke though. He's not going to get anything. They'll take a little bit of decay as they go pushing into the site, and Scream is going to be waiting. Just mowing down 3 as they tried to enter A. The spike dropped to the floor and only 20 seconds to try and rectify things.
So smart from Scream. He dodged the recon bolt now. Coming into 12 seconds left. Zistow tries to do something, but there's nothing to be had here for Oxygen. That is a demotivating round, you know? Obviously, they did want to go C. They put out all their utility. Nothing happens. Nothing goes their way, and they're slowed by Liquid's util. They decide, okay, you know what? It's fine. We can play it slower. We can go out on A. They get the duel. They get a lot of progress towards the site. The only part of that site they couldn't see, with the exception of short, was that angle right there. The recon was clearing everything. Hell and that angle. And Scream comes out with 3 kills from it. That's just sickening.
It is the Scream factor. It's the reason he's highlighted on every single desk. Even at this point, it sounds like a broken record, and that's about as bad as it goes, because now the economy is going to be built up early for Liquid. If they do inevitably lose a round, they'll be able to get the operator back in and everything changes completely. I've really loved a lot of the setups we've actually seen coming out from Yum, because it's sort of like the 1 kill, fall back, and then I have all my utility to deny them pushing onto me and closing me out, which that's the main thing you want to be doing a lot of the time with an operator, is just basically making sure you trade them at least, like get rid of that star player. And he's just been denying teams from doing that, or most notably FPX from getting rid of him, especially on that B site. Now, for at least the moment, I was going to say there's not really any presence from Liquid on this side of the map, and the stars being placed. It looks like an all-in take, but now they've already got players waiting.
They got the info with the bird that went out. The flash link gets 3, but okay, Glove, that's a good start. Spike drop in the open, not so much. They have only got pistols, so as we said, damage is going to be what they're looking for. Swapping out of the one-shot headshot weapon. Maybe Toronto can just pull one more kill his way. It's unlikely he wins this round, but he'll take any little advantage you can get at this stage. Clearing it out, he's going to go in for the plant, or actually, of course, a fake. Because although we can see that the players are not going to push him down and they're spawn in heaven, he thinks about his flank, and that buys them enough time to eventually muster up the courage to rush him down and kill him. 4-0. Liquid, they're looking so clean right now. We need to see Oxygen return something of their own now that they have a buy round.
The first one definitely didn't go to plan. And the thing is, like, you have to look at the way they're having to try and face off against Liquid. Every time they run through one of those screens, they're 50 HP off worse. Every time they go through, the cloud on the other side of the map is exactly the same. So we've got the wall covering off 2 points. You've got the cloud covering off the other. So they're always taking some sort of damage. And that's not talking about any other agents that are currently in play for Liquid. So that's what I talk about when I say that they're willing to disrespect the utility. It's like, is that actually going to work for you? And then are you comfortable, like FBX were, to try and execute in the last like 15 seconds when you've been able to burn a lot of that down? By the looks of it so far, the answer is no. As again, they are setting into what looks like another A-take, destroying Scream's ice wall to try and garner a little bit of extra space. But again, now just the smoke falls in their face instead.
Toronto's almost on his last mag with over a minute left on the clock. He's gotta be a bit selective on what he spams from here on out. He just broke the wall one piece at a time. Obviously just trying to sell a little bit of fake information, posture towards that A site. But for Team Liquid, especially when they have your Sky to gain information, like they don't have much control outside of A and C in terms of players, but they have their turret covering B. They have their alarm bot covering in towards garage. So there's not a whole lot that they have to be terribly scared about. And here, a small detail, they even flash into garage to clear it and then pull the alarm bot back. But this is where Zistow can get dividends if it wasn't for Cryptics in the corner. They'd already started to rotate as well. They were like, oh, he's on C, Grand. No, he's dead.
They've tried to sell the fake on Liquid, but again, with how much utility they have to slow them down, Liquid are more than happy to just wait until these pushes come in. They've even got the orbital strike to shut them out. Cryptics is destroying them! Another triple kill coming up for Liquid, and only seconds left on the clock for Toronto to try anything. They didn't even lose a single player, Mitch. It's 5-0 for Liquid already, and I'm already scared for Oxygen.
Yeah, Oxygen are running into utility, right? They go down towards A short. Oh, there's a wall. We'll break it away. There's a smoke. Okay, let's go back. Viper wall. Okay, maybe we go in through garage. There's already utility there. They tried, in the meantime, to get control over the C site. Lost their player. Committed to it anyways with a garage split. And that went to hell with the orbital strike. Every single piece of utility being used here for Team Liquid is annoying Oxygen on another level. This is beautiful play on the defensive side so far.
I will say, I don't mind the idea at all from Oxygen. Like, the idea of trying to almost sell an all-in take and have Zistu to try and come in from behind and just catch off what they would expect to be only one player. The chancer, if you see all of the stars play, smokes popped, you're going to expect there to be players towards A. It's logical, but the fact that there were actually still 2 players on the C site from Liquid, they've not fallen for anything thus far. The reads that they've had have been spot on. We know they're a team that has the players behind them, the coach behind them, that's going to be putting in all of the research. So I feel like Oxygen have to be... they have to hit a peak almost with the mind games if they're going to bait players off the site.
Let's see what they're going to be doing. Oxygen looking set to run straight into Killjoy utility. Look how much there is. And not only that, there's 3 players now with that flash popping because Sky's going to start to mosey on over. Out goes the Tiger to clear it out through the wall. Well, no info, but you're still hearing 3 players shooting off and using utility. The problem with causing rotates to the B side, Tom, is that generally you're not going to get a lot for it because they can quickly rotate into A, but the rotates take a long time. Apparently this time around, they're slow. And so Oxygen, they're getting out onto the site. The wall's even blocking off the one player they've got on short. Link able to isolate a duel, but now, what do? They're going out for individual fights. This is exactly what Oxygen want. The wall goes up to slow them. Even a Cosmic Divide, they have to be aware of behind as Link gets his teammates to run on through. They cover every angle, all their bases. And again, 1 player lost. I mean, that looked very good. The chaos is where Oxygen can thrive in a round like that. But Liquid again managed individually to come out on top.
Well, I think even the reaction, I think every time we see the toxic screen actually go back up, it not only gives Link cover, but again, you're seeing these players whittled away as they try and enter the site. And because they've been playing multiple players on B in a lot of the early stages of the round, as you mentioned, unless you're killing off Link very, very quickly, someone else is going to be there and he's going to have someone to play off. And the way they have the combos of their extra piece of utility has made things very, very difficult. Now we're going to see the orb challenge for this time. Even a couple of players up on top of the wall. Mittez has got to be careful here. Bear in mind that the Astra is playing with pretty much all of the utility for their side at the moment, or at least the more impactful in terms of smokes, etc. But this time, he has got away with the opening duel, and something we haven't really seen much from Oxygen just yet.
What I'll say, quick point on this, Yampy invested into an operator, right? Full utility, bought up armor. The rest of the team are max money. So, and he's now, I think, 700 credits. So someone probably could have dropped that over. It's a tiny detail, but it can make a difference in the long run. We'll take a look at this backside push, which has gotten them complete B control, but bypassed the Killjoy utility, which is slowing them down, dealing damage. Cryptic's even using his util to grab himself a kill, and spamming through the smoke. That's dangerous now. Oxygen back into a 4v4, despite such a good early start from them.
Yeah, that was even off the investment of a res as well, so to lose an extra player is already going to be rough. Cryptics is just on an utter tear, looking for more victims as the peak comes out from Mittez, though, giving them an advantage. Yumpy trapped out, Soulcast looking to come in from behind. They'll know where both players are and are just trying to hold within the site. B is definitely not the place you want to be when it comes to these afterplant scenarios. It can be tough to hold on, and no scope from Yumpy. Go listen for both! The Finn is just going flashy at this stage, and What is that? A ridiculous retake. He didn't even need his teammate in the end.
He didn't even need his scope, Tom. That's unbelievable. 7-0, and in that fashion, everything went their way. They started out, they get the B site, they res up, man advantage. It's taken right back. But hey, it's a 4v4. It's still doable. And Mites pushes inside a Hunter's Fury. That was so smart. The last thing you expect is this guy to be in here. He almost uses it as cover as he runs through. Whether intentional or not, the reaction play in the second worked out for a double kill. And for Yampy to pull it back like that, it's just, it's gotta feel terrible if you're the attacking side. Still looking for that first round to get one on the board, Tom. As we come into round number 8.
I've worked it out. So
what is it?
Basically, he asked Sliggy today, is like, am I allowed to like play shotguns like I did when I played Fnatic? Sliggy was like, look, guys, we need to win this. It's the qualification. We got to try and get through. And so he's just decided he's going to play the operator as a shotgun instead. It makes perfect sense. Like, you can't tell Yampy what to do. And while normally we talk about how Oxygen, they're actually pretty good with their pistols. At least make things costly. You spoke about the amount of finances that have already been built up for Team Liquid. Well, how about a flawless round?
Yeah, that'll help. They lose a couple of players. They're like, yeah, I feel like max money though. Let's get right back up there, and the credits will there flowing in. As you see, the full investment here, very little had to be reinvested into. Leaves them pretty for pretty much the rest of this game. This was a real brawl, right? Around that mid control, they're looking for every fight they can get. Saw Yampy get in there with a wall bang right at the start. And 8-0 on the board. Oxygen, they're stalling right now. They're not feeling good.
This is the map they chose as well. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they are a prominent Ascent team. I think Turkey have proven throughout this EMEA qualifier that they are very, very competent at Ascent, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure Liquid are 12-0 when it comes to Ascent at the moment. The reason that they're happy to pick into that map, so this is looking very uncomfortable. And as you mentioned, like now they have to deal with the operator as well, which seemed to be almost the clinical factor when it came to their defense versus FPX. We're going to see the Viper ult thrown in as well, which not only makes pushing through long almost impossible, but gives extra positions for Cryptics to hide. Soulcast alongside him is actually just going to start fighting. And they've got the opener once again, but just look at the rotations from Liquid. They're already on C. However, this time, Oxygen have actually managed to make them rotate. The problem is, have we actually seen them clear out Link once throughout this match?
And he's swapping up position, right? They're going to ignore short completely because they don't want to deal with him, but he's tucked over in the corner still. His teammates are going to be late to rotate. He needs a lot, and a lot he'll get! 3 kills! Oh my god, Oxygen, every time they have a chance, Liquid snatch it right out of their hands. This is just unstoppable stuff, 9-0. They just can't catch a break, Tom.
I think that they're in their own heads at this point. Like, it's exactly what you said. Like, Link has played in that sort of short sewer spot for the majority of the round, so they see that screen go up. They go, okay, well, we know where he is, and the one time that Link changes his position, he gets 3 players. Like, this is almost at the stage where you have to look at Oxygen and go, okay, that's unacceptable. You need to be getting a better trade from that point. Now they're going to end up with a pistol in the mix. More aggressive C-take seems to be on the cards. Already, with the stars falling, Snakebite going to be pushed through, and they've somewhat been separated. A couple of players pushing in, but they have managed to isolate the jewels. Mites again, but just look how fast the trades are.
They keep on coming, but Link on the backside, he's low HP, and he still gets away with 3. Come on, 10-0 Oxygen. They're really starving at this point. They want anything. They just want that one round. Just give them something. And the thing is, you know, a lot of the things they're doing are the completely right decision. And I feel like with this composition they're running, going through those Viper walls, you think about how we saw, for example, FPX deal with it yesterday. They would have their Phoenix flashes to pop on through and try to take those duels. You'll see a lot of teams have the Sky that you'll pop the flash, and that kind of discredits anybody holding the wall. But right here, Oxygen, they don't have that luxury. They're playing a comp that doesn't allow them to flash in. You have to play off the info, and sure, if your Sova is managing to hit that recon and reveal them, great, but we saw that backfire where Scream got away. Was that a leg shot? Turbo's 5 HP. I didn't even know. I thought it was a miss.
I think you need to learn by now, Mitch, that Yumpy doesn't miss. If he does miss, it was a warning shot. That's all we've learned so far today. Now, the one time they have actually managed to get an after-plant position, they did head into the B site. But the thing is, there's just been a response. We've got Sage in the form of Scream. You still got all the utility there from Yumpy. Rotation being quick from Soulcast already to try and garner some extra control. And they've just been placing this early utility down to allow Link that extra space. And also it means he can keep his Sky Smokes, which they waste a ridiculous amount of time unless you're just going to be pushing straight through it. By the time we actually see them go towards this site as well, there's so many players here. Like, they've got a second, a third rotating. This is looking so easy for Liquid.
They have it all figured out, man. There's a shot coming out from the Sheriff that's so quickly dealt with. 11-0. Every time they attempt something, they're just getting wrecked. And I mean, I think the best example really was the round that they had the Viper ult on C. You saw Oxygen. They drone it out. The drone doesn't catch any info. It's such a long ultimate in the position that it had been put down by Cryptics that the drone came through. It ended up disappearing before it could clear outside of the ult. Then they go to site. They get the kills. They have the openings. Okay, things are looking good. They've got control over the C site, except for the Vipers stuck in. Liquid rotate. They go back. They sell the fake. They get the A site, which is one player, and Link just destroys them all. Every single time that they make the right play, they're getting just wrecked individually. But hold on, there's a little bit of a change. Yappy, he's lost an open and duel. He's gone down. Here comes the lockdown as well for the C side. This is going to force them into the back. And I like the attempt. I like the counter, rather, of popping down the ult, pushing mid to catch them on the way and Scream. Oh my god, man. Headshot after headshot. 4 kills on the board, and Oxygen, it's the last round of the half. They thought they had it. They dealt with Yampy, and so that was surely the round going their way. And Scream comes through to ruin their day. Toronto's even naded himself, and Scream aces it out. A headshot wallbang to put 12-0 on the board with the ace. That pretty much sums up the whole half, doesn't it, Tom?
I want to go home. Like, this was meant to be the qualification match. It's a 12-0 half. Like, Scream, come on, man. Like, he's already booked his flight. I'm telling you now. It's just like, well, I'm not wasting, guys, I'm not wasting my money. Like, it's already paid for. Like, I've got my flight booked. What is this? He's just running down mid and killing everyone.
It's
this means we're gonna have to highlight him again. Like, as if we don't do it enough, we're just gonna. Yeah. By the way, guys, did you know Scream's actually pretty good at Valorant? Like, I don't know if you've heard this. Like, a guy who's very good at hitting headshots is good at Valorant. It like. Unbelievable. And there's been so many things to bring up about just how they've been playing, how they've been denying space, how they've been slowing things down, but ultimately that's the epitome of this game so far. One team is looking at the peak of their form, the other is yet to show up.
Punishing an early peak, use lockdown. Lockdown gets countered. Okay, they try to rotate back. Someone aces the round. It's exactly what happened when they rotated A and Link shut them with the 3K. Well, let's see if anything goes their way in the pistol round. They are rushing out towards the C site. There's a nanoswarm there ready to slow them down. And they're just going to wait it out and push on through. They're not thinking about mind games or rotating. They're looking for fights right now. Oxygen, Zistow always told us they just want to fight well. It doesn't look like there's much fight in them, at least to start this one off. A 4 versus 3. Liquid, get the site, get the plants. And with this kind of setup, Tom, they've still got full post plants, and Yappy's behind them. Of course he is. This is devastating. Oxygen, they might just be going out 13-0. Mites is doing his best, though, to make sure that doesn't happen. A side swipe from Cryptics leaves it all onto Turco. Low HP for both of these players. Turco taking some point-blank shots from a turret, and he's going to rotate around, but the time is ticking away. He has to clear these angles, and they are ready to just swing together. Oh, Turco, he'll have to hit some nuts shots to get away with this one. There's the first. And no, on the side, Cryptics gets it done. He was left on 14 HP.